Often with Five Nights at Freddy's max modes, you look at certain challenges and think, man, I'm never gonna beat that. This can happen with every max mode no matter the difficulty, from stuff like Ultimatum at the top of the list, all the way to 50-20 towards the bottom. For me, two max modes that always seemed too difficult for me were Rat and Cat All Challenges and Puppet Master All Challenges. Rat and Cat All Challenges and Puppet Master All Challenges are two max modes from Five Nights at Candy's 3 But Better. I've talked about the FNAF But Better series many times on this channel already, but if you're new here, the FNAF But Better series is 3 remakes of the 3 main Five Nights at Candy's games. They aim to give the games much better gameplay and make them much harder. As mentioned previously, I've talked about these games extensively on this channel already and have made videos on all of the max modes from FNAF 1 and 2 But Better, so feel free to check those out if you're interested. I've always been scared of both Rat and Cat All Challenges and Puppet Master All Challenges because of how different they are compared to most Sit and Survive FNAF games. And those, you're often in an office closing doors and going through cameras, while in FNAF 3, you're in a child's bedroom doing an aim tracker test to survive. Both the unique gameplay and the fact that the nights rely entirely on very precise aim made me stay away from them after I beat every max mode in FNAF 2 But Better. That was until I started True Nightmare No Postmortem. True Nightmare No Postmortem is a night in popular FNAF fan game Oblitus Casa that I'm currently working on as a new hardest max mode. I'll have a very in-depth video coming out eventually talking about that when I actually beat it, so look out for that soon. The point is, I'd been playing and strategizing for True Nightmare No Postmortem for close to a month, and I realized that while I might have enough skill for it, improving my aim couldn't hurt. So I decided to take a break from it to work on my strategy and beat one of FNAF 3 But Better's max modes to improve my aim. Which one did I choose? Well, first I'll give a short explanation of each night. Rat and Cat All Challenges features Shadow Rat, Shadow Cat, and Classic Cat. Shadow Rat and Shadow Cat attack in patterns that follow a triangle shape where you have to shine a light on them to prevent them from killing you. Classic Cat shows up on either side of the bed your character is on, and you just have to flash him down to get rid of him. The rest of the challenges are just additional things that add to the night's difficulty that I'll get more into later. Puppet Master All Challenges features Shadow Vinnie and Monstergami. Unlike Rat and Cat, Vinnie attacks in circular motions and can switch between the 3 parts of the room you're in. Monstergami attacks sort of like Rat and Cat while also being kind of unique. I decided to go with Puppet Master All Challenges because dealing with Vinnie and his circular motions felt a lot more natural than Rat and Cat's constant twitching. Despite PMAC only being a third hardest according to the max mode list, I was worried about it because of its focus on aim and unique gameplay. I've always considered myself to have decent aim for short periods of time, but having to constantly move my mouse perfectly was worrying. Max modes I beat in like Blood 720 and Hardest Raining Nightmare required good aim but were broken up by breaks that would let me regroup and be able to focus on my aim after that break. PMAC is constant, very precise aim for 8 minutes straight with no breaks during the night. Thankfully, because of this extreme focus on aim, the overall flow of the night is pretty simple on paper, so let's get into how everything works. Before I talk about Vinnie himself, I'm going to talk about the additional challenges that are added to PMAC. The first challenge is the Monstergami challenge. Monstergami is the nightmare version of the origami cat that leads you through the original game, providing tips and sharing the story. In FNAF 3 But Better, Monstergami will show up occasionally in the darkness of your room, indicated by this music track. When it plays, you have a limited amount of time to move your cursor in between his eyes 8 times. After the 8th time, a thud will play and Monstergami will disappear. If you don't get rid of him in time, then he will steal your cassette tape, which I'll talk about next. The second challenge is hard cassette. Normally you play the cassette tape to speed the night up. It has a limited usage, however, only lasting around 45 seconds. When it runs out, you'll have to rewind the tape to use it again. Hard cassette makes it so that if the music is not playing, then it will slowly get harder and harder to see, and after around 30 seconds, you will fall asleep, acting like a death. The way that you cancel this vision effect is by starting to play the cassette player again. While this vision effect is annoying, the really difficult part about hard cassette is how it affects the night length. Normally, the night length plus the speed of effect of the cassette player makes the night around 4.5 minutes. Since the cassette player no longer speeds up the night, the length nearly doubles, lasting 8 minutes instead. The Shadow Vinnie challenge turns Vinnie into a shadowy version of himself, shocking I know, which makes his attacks more difficult and changes how he works every hour or so. I'll go into a lot more detail about Shadow Vinnie soon, but just know that this challenge turns him from an absolute bum to the most insane aim tracker test of your life. Finally, there's Laser Pointer. Laser Pointer is by far the hardest of the 3 main challenges. You already don't have the greatest visibility in FNAF 3, but Laser Pointer takes that and shrinks the normal flashlight size by over 50%. There are 2 variations of the Laser Pointer, however, being the 3.1.0 Laser Pointer and the OG Laser Pointer. The 3.1.0 Laser Pointer is the version that is used on the current version of FNAF 3 But Better, and as mentioned earlier, only changes the actual size of the flashlight. In earlier versions of FNAC 3 but better, the laser pointer shrunk both the flashlight size and the hitbox you had to have your mouse in order to deal with the animatronics. This was later changed in version 3.1.0 of FNAC 3 but better and absolutely tanked both PMAC and Rat Cattle challenges on the max modes list. The OG laser pointer does still exist in current versions if you type torture into your keyboard, because the small but very noticeable change is pure torture. Since I was new to FNAC 3 but better and FNAC 3 in general, I decided to stay away from the OG laser pointer for now. Now we have Shadow Vinnie, and oh boy, this guy is something else. If I had to choose who was the main antagonist out of all the max modes I've done, I'd either choose that stupid power generator in Blood 720 or Withered Old Candy from Hardest Raining Nightmare. Shadow Vinnie takes these guys, gives them a knuckle sandwich for breakfast, shoves them in their lockers to steal their lunch money, and then gives them a swirly for good measure. He is absolutely insane and is responsible for 99% of the night's difficulty. Like I mentioned earlier, regular Vinnie is an absolute bum, so I won't waste your time talking about him, and I'll only be talking about Shadow Vinnie on Nightmare difficulty, which is equivalent to 20 AI. For starters, he always has a 0.75 second kill timer, where if your mouse isn't on his head, he will kill you. Because of how laser pointer got changed, you actually have about 80% of his head to aim for, rather than OG laser pointer's hitbox, which is pretty much just around his eyes. He also has a patience timer, which is slightly different from his normal kill timer. If the normal kill timer is how much room for error you have during each of his spins, his patience timer is how much room for error you have for his entire attack. Each hour, Vinnie gets a certain number assigned that is his patience value, which decreases whenever your mouse isn't on his hitbox. While his kill timer will get reset every time you touch his hitbox, his patience timer won't get reset until the entire attack is finished. His patience timer isn't super strict in this version of PMAC, but you will get killed if you hit Vinnie's hitbox super late a bunch of times. I'll talk about the overall cycle of the night later, but for now I'll just talk about how Vinnie acts. Bear with me because Vinnie is extremely complex. He has 6 different phases that change every hour. A constant between all of Vinnie's phases is how he switches locations in the room your character is defending. He will only start his attacks from the left or right parts of the room, but he can move locations when you finish phases of his attack. Shining your light on Vinnie fills a progression bar that, when full, will make him go from his starting position to the middle of the room. Finishing his attack from the middle will cause him to go to either the left or right. After that, he will go to the middle one last time, and then either go to the left or right parts of the bed, where you will shine your light on him one last time, ending the attack. Vinnie's first phase lasts from 12 to 1 AM, and is his easiest phase. He will spin in circles slowly in one area, and when you have your flashlight on him for long enough, he will spin again to a new location, and the cycle repeats after a few times. After 3 to 4 different spins, he will switch locations 4 times, like I talked about earlier. At the end of his 4th location switch, when you flash him at the bed, he will go under and you'll have to deal with him in Monster Gummy's bed phases, which I'll talk about soon. At 1 AM, Vinnie will gain the ability to switch his spinning direction during his slow spins, and at 2 AM, he will start spinning a lot faster. At 3 AM, Vinnie will start doing bed attacks, where he goes under the bed and you'll have to flash him 12 or 14 total times. He starts in the middle and can move to either the left or right. The hard part is that he will move either really fast after you shine your light on him, or after you shine on him for around half a second. Because of this inconsistent movement, his bed attacks feel very awkward and require a lot of practice, since they can really mess with your nerves. At 4 AM, he gets even faster, and finally at 5 AM, he will stop doing slow spins entirely, moving in circles incredibly fast. As you can see, Vinnie is a very complex animatronic that is also incredibly difficult. There are a few different ways to deal with his spinning attacks. You can either be a 1-spin warrior or a 2-spin knight. Personally, I was more of a 2-spin knight because following Vinnie's exact movements the entire time was incredibly difficult for me. Using a 2-spin strategy worked for me because I could see where Vinnie was on my first spin and use my second spin to lock on to him. This also helps because the first spin will reset his kill timer if you hit his hitbox. One thing I had trouble with was making either too large or too small of a circle, and my mouse wouldn't go over his hitbox, so he'd just end up killing me over what looked like basically nothing. To avoid this, you really just need to do lots and lots of practice so you know how big of a circle you need to make for each location Vinnie attacks from. Vinnie is the farthest away from you on the left side of the room, so you make the smallest circle there. He's closest to you on the right, so make a larger circle there. When he's in the middle, his circle is smaller than when he's on the right, but larger than when he's on the left. I keep talking about how you need to practice a lot of different things, but you might be thinking, how can I do a practice run of a max mode? Luckily, a mod was made that allows you to practice Vinnie's attacks from specific locations at certain times of the night. It also has a bunch of other things you can mess around with in order to make your experience a lot more manageable. It's also a great way to practice bed phases, which is our next topic. Unfortunately, the practice mod doesn't exist on GameJolt anymore, but if it does get re-uploaded, I'll update the document that I always have in the description that has video and music credits, as well as a written version of the guide. side. The tape that you play to make the night progress doesn't have an unlimited duration. Eventually, you'll have to go under the bed and rewind the tape player. You start the cassette player right as the night begins, and after you do one of Vinnie's attacks, music will start playing that sounds like this. You're going to want to go under the bed and stop the tape player, then rewind it. After that, come out from under the bed and you will see eyes in the darkness. That is Monstergami. You'll have to move your mouse in between his eyes 8 different times to get rid of him. If you don't deal with him fast enough, then he will steal the cassette player, which obviously gets you killed. After you deal with Monstergami, very quickly go under the bed and look to the right. If you see Vinnie, move to the left, and if you don't see Vinnie, then move to the right. We don't look at both sides because we can easily use the process of elimination to tell where he is by looking at one side. You thankfully don't need to go all the way to his side, and I'll show some guidelines on where you need to go on screen. While you're moving to his side, the music that plays will play these 3 notes. A bit after the second note plays, you'll stop the tape from rewinding and then play it. After you play it, come out from under the bed, but don't move to the other side until the 3rd note of the song plays. The reason we switch sides to begin with is so we can lure Vinnie out after we deal with Monstergami and get the tape rewinded. This cycle repeats where you rewind the tape, deal with Monstergami, check where Vinnie is, and play the tape again until 3 AM. Like I mentioned when talking about Vinnie, at 3 AM he starts doing attacks from under the bed and the bed phase changes a bit. Start the same as before, going under the bed when Vinnie's done with his attack and stopping and rewinding the tape. Then, like before, you deal with Monstergami, but instead of looking for where Vinnie is, you go under the bed. This time, go to the cassette player and as fast as you can, stop rewinding, play the tape again, and then immediately stop and start rewinding again. We do this because Vinnie's 3 to 6 AM bed phases are longer than the 12 to 3 AM bed phases, and because of hard cassette, it will get really hard to see and you will fall asleep before you can play the tape after Vinnie's bed attack. Playing the tape for any amount of time will uncloud your vision and reset the sleep timer. After you stop, stop, and rewind, go under the bed and do Vinnie's bed attack. Like I mentioned earlier, these attacks are super awkward and require a lot of practice, so be sure to use the practice mod for that. When Vinnie's bed attack ends, pay attention to where his head is. If he's on the right, then his next attack will start from the right part of the room, and if he's on the left, then his next attack will start on the left part of the room. After he leaves, then stop rewinding the tape, play it again, and go to wherever his head last was. Repeat this cycle until 6 AM, and you will have beaten Puppet Master all challenges. I'm going to use this last section to just list all the tips I've said so far, so let's begin. The most important tip is to use the practice mod. While it can be a little janky at times, it is easily the best resource available. Practice all of Vinnie's different phases, his attack locations, the 2 different bed phases, and even Monstergami. I had to practice Monstergami because unlike Vinnie, his attacks don't lock you in one of the 3 normal attack locations, so getting used to the constant camera movement was key. Practicing Vinnie's later phases is incredibly helpful because the slight changes can really shake up your nerves, which PMAC really tests. Something you can do that is a little cheap is to turn up the brightness and gamma on your monitor to make it a bit easier to see Vinnie. You can't tell that I did it because the gamma is only increased on my end, but it helps a lot with Vinnie, especially with his bed attacks. Another thing to practice is your circles since they can vary in size depending on where Vinnie is attacking from. Also, make sure to try and keep your mouse in between Vinnie's eyes since that gives you the most hitbox area to work with. The best way to do Vinnie's attacks is to flash him and then follow whatever direction he spins in, but this is very difficult and does take a lot of practice. After that, then you can do either the 1 or 2 spin strategies depending what works best for you. If you really struggle with that, then do your spins depending on which way Vinnie does his slow spins, like this. During Vinnie's attacks later in the night, you'll notice that the tape player stops playing before you're even done with his attacks, indicated by a clicking noise. This small difference makes it so that instead of stopping the tape then rewinding it, you can just start rewinding immediately, which saves a little bit of time. And honestly, that's kind of it. PMAC is very simple in nature as long as you know how Vinnie's phases change and you practice the 2 different bed phases. The reason this is such a difficult challenge is it is pure skill. While stuff like Blood 720 and the max modes in FNAC 2 but better are skill based, they also require a good bit of knowledge and fast problem solving. PMAC is constant, extremely precise aim for 8 minutes straight. It requires tons of focus, quick reactions, and very good nerve control. But with enough practice and perseverance, you can beat it, just like I did when I thought I never could. Alright, let's just get into this. I'm doing this as a break from True Nightmare No Postmortem because I need to get better. This is going to be a good thing to do to improve my aim, which I think will help a lot. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to take me. I know I've said in the past that I was like not planning on doing the FNAC 3 but better max modes, and I'm still not sure about Rat Cat all challenges. This one just appeals to me a bit more. I'm going to try this for a bit. We'll see how it goes. This looks like hell to learn. It's actually pretty simple for the most part. You just gotta like know how to adjust your strats. So I think 1 a.m. during his slow turns, he'll like sometimes start like changing directions in the middle of them. 2 a.m. his slow turns are faster, and I think it's just faster in general. 3 a.m. he does bed phases, which I don't really know how to do yet, but I'm not really worried about that. And then 4 a.m. I don't think anything changes, and then 5 a.m. he just stops doing slow turns altogether. I don't know if I'll do OGLP, because OGLP is quite a bit harder. It's actually even harder than True Nightmare No Postmortem. I think I'm just gonna try normal laser pointer. Like, why did he kill me there? Like, I don't know if I'm like doing something wrong or what. And then like I know I gotta get better with Monstergami. Like I'm really bad with Monstergami just because with Vinnie your camera kind of locks in the area that he's at, but it doesn't with Monstergami. It feels really awkward when you're doing Monstergami's attacks. What? Oh my god. I was like barely too slow. I think I got him 7 times. You gotta get him 8. Yeah, I do hear it's very consistent. It's just because it scales in difficulty, that can get a little rough, but it's mainly just a nerve control test, which I have good nerve control with max modes for some reason, so I think I'll be fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck! I just have to be like a little bit faster. It feels weird like playing this because like I said, I don't know. I've like never been good at these because like, I don't know. I play like the practice mod every now and then to like warm up my aim, and like specifically Rat and Cat, I'm like horrible at their attacks, but going in like a circular motion for Vinnie is a lot easier for me. So that's why I decided to do this, even though I think it's like considered a little harder than Rat and Cat challenges. That was actually so slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh fuck! Ah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. What did I do wrong? Wait, do I go to the opposite side of where he is? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Yeah, I go to the opposite side of where he is. Okay, yep, that's what I've been doing wrong. I got it mixed up. I thought I'd go to the same side he's on. What's my mouse DPI? I don't know. I usually play with like, I guess kind of low DPI. 3200. 15K? Holy shit. Fun fact, I used to play games on 1600 DPI. So like, I had to go up to 3200 once I started doing max modes. Specifically when I was doing HRN. Alright, man. Like, what did I do to piss you off today? I didn't play it. Oh man, I almost did a cycle for the first time. I just didn't play the tape. That's exactly what I hate about Monstergami 2. The no screen lock is infuriating, especially because you're already so used to Vinnie's screen lock. The no screen lock, it just feels so awkward. Oh, I did it again! Alright, cool. I like instantly died. Whatever. There we go. I did the first sequence. That's progress. I feel good, because, like, now I actually, like, before in my head, I knew how to do everything, but, like, now I actually know I can do everything because I've done it. The practice mod helps with that a lot. I wish more games had practice mods like that. So yeah, kind of what I've been doing to practice, because like I have been playing this the last 2 days. I only really practiced, I didn't play from the beginning of the night that much. But the great thing about the practice mod is that I can just like practice all of his different phases and the different bedside attacks, so it's very nice. I think I'm like a little bit better from last stream, we'll see how much better. So yeah, the biggest thing that I realized when I was practicing throughout the weekend was when I was doing my like spotting circles, I did keep doing them like the same size no matter where he was, rather than adjust depending on his location. I kept doing like fairly large circles whenever I was trying to track him, when I kind of need to change the size of my circles depending on where he is. Like I can do relatively small circles for his left side. I need to do larger ones for the right, and then like kind of an in-between. I don't know how much of an issue nerves is gonna be, because I don't know, I had bad nerves when I played GD, but I don't really get nerves with max modes. I'm interested to see how this is gonna be, because this is like a really good nerve test. Yeah, scaling difficulty, that'll be interesting, because we all know how well HRN went, and you know, that's got some of the most brutal scaling difficulty in any max mode I've done. But on later hours is nowhere near as bad as old can. Oh yeah, dude. HRN, the most brutal experience I've had playing a max mode. It's like to the point where I really cannot tell if Blood 720 or HRN is harder, just because of how god-awful my HRN experience was. Because like, I don't know, with Blood 720 the difficulty scales like ever so slightly, but it's not super noticeable like in HRN. HRN is absolutely fucked. HRN is like fucked to the point where I was able to like nearly first try normal Ring Nightmare faulty equipment after I beat it when I was practicing for 820 faulty equipment. I think my goal today, I want to get maybe to like 2 a.m. Wait, what? Oh my god. I know what I did. I stopped and played the tape instead of stopping and rewinding it. Oops. There we go. That was such a bad attempt, holy hell. Alright, that's a nice PB. I've done the first cycle, like, I think that's like the 6th time I've done the first cycle, but every time I've like died immediately, so I should not have survived for as long as I did. I waited too long. Aside from Old Candy, which character gave you the most trouble on HRN? Probably either of the cats. Either of the cats or... Blank I'd never die to unless I was either at 5 a.m. or like a late 4 a.m. Fuck, I'm dead. Alright, we'll see how long I can go. I was so slow trying to do the tape. Damn it. Okay, I need to get into my head. I don't have to stop and rewind because the tape stops playing. I think the gauntlet would be a super fun challenge. Besides HRN, I've really enjoyed all of the FNAC with Better stuff. I'm even enjoying this, even though it's like incredibly difficult and way out of my comfort zone. I'm still enjoying this a lot. Do I even still have... I might have deleted... Oh, no, I have it still. Because after I beat HRN, first thing I did was delete this stupid fucking game.
one of our.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. Get me 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 out of here. Try again, please. Oh my god, thank you. Ah, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm gonna do. This is gonna be a first try dub. Promise. Why? Why'd I stop ringing? Okay, that doesn't count either. I'm gonna do it, okay. I kept clicking. What is wrong? I'll give myself one more try. So this is attempt 4, attempt 5 will be my last one. The luckiest person. Yeah. Ah! Fuck! Okay, I don't remember if that was attempt 5 or not. We'll call this attempt 5. Oh fuck, I did it canceled! I'm dead. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I didn't cancel that phone. Yeah, we were talking about the gauntlet, and I was like, I can probably still do Rat Cat Theater. Okay, we're back to this. I gave myself 5 attempts. I got 2 a.m. once and 3 a.m. once. Really, man? Alright. Thanks, Vinny. That was a good session. I got past the second cycle like 3 times. I almost got past I got past the first cycle like 3 times. We're back with this. I don't know how today's gonna go, but we'll see. It could go really well. I don't think it will. Got back from a sweaty late sprint walk. That is exactly what I just did. I was a little late because I got distracted because some lady was walking her dog, and the dog was like super duper friendly, and she was trying to like walk the dog back to their house or something. And the dog saw me walking down the street and just like would refuse to leave until I came up and gave him a pet. I was petting him and he just like got on his back just in the middle of the road. It's kind of funny, but it was sweet. I'm kind of surprised I like didn't mind that because I'm not a huge dog person. I'm definitely much more of a cat person, both because I own cats and also just because dogs are big and sometimes very hyper, and they use their size and their hyperness to an advantage. I have 3 cats. I only have 1 cat, and she is she's one cat. Alright, 5 a.m. Let's dance, Vinny boy. Jesus. If I can just like lock in, I can do fine with this. It's just I don't know why I'm having such a hard time locking in. I feel like the issue with this max mode is if I want to like make any progress whatsoever, I have to focus so damn much, even if it's at like the start of the night, that like this max mode requires so much focus. You gotta be like fully locked in from the go. Like even stuff like True Nightmare No Postmortem, eventually like you get to the point where you kind of just like everything is pure flow state and you're just going on muscle memory for a while. Like the most break I get from this is doing a Monstergami attack, which isn't much of a break because you still gotta be like very precise with that. Like all of Vinny's attacks, you gotta be like locked the fuck in. If I need a break, you know what? I'll show you guys my Minecraft servers I've been doing with friends because I've made some nice builds there. I currently lost all my stuff because we did a raid and my dumbass thought we could handle a level 3 raid. We could not handle a level 3 raid. We had a villager breeder set up, and for some fucking reason the bells, you know, the bells that villages have in Minecraft, those things have collision. So we had our breeder set up where that was able to happen, but we didn't know. So we just like lost, we didn't lose all our villagers because we had a bunch underground in like our trading area. But we lost pretty much all the villagers that we were breeding. We were trying this raid for like 30 minutes because all of our spawns were inside that breeder, and there was like 3 or 4 vindicators in there constantly, and you would instantly die. Like, I shit you not, you would go in and you would just instantly fucking die. It tested my patience. And then basically what happened was I lost my stuff for such a long amount of time that basically twice today I lost a near perfect pickaxe. The first was probably about 25% my fault and 75% my friend's fault because he needed to go mining and I had a fortune pickaxe and I needed to get rid of some stuff and he had an efficiency pickaxe. So we decided to switch, and This dumb idiot goes and gets killed, but I'm even more of a dumb idiot because my other friend is like, hey, we can do a relocation compass, which I didn't even know existed. And then I was like, I'm gonna get back at my friend, I'm just gonna straight up kill him and then we'll go find it. What I forgot was killing him reset the locator compass that locates where you last died. So I lost that. And the second one I lost because I couldn't get my items because I got insta-killed for so long and my shit just despawned. It was an experience and a half. But I've had a lot of fun with that. I usually don't focus on building because I'm really bad at it, but I've been doing that and I've made some really nice stuff that I'm really proud of. Have I done rat cattle challenges? I have not. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. If this goes well and I feel like my mechanics in this game are decent, I feel like I might want to try it. I've gained more interest in it, I will say that. The kill timer is extremely annoying. Vinny's kill timer is brutal, I will say that. Sometimes you're just going about your business and you just die for no apparent reason. How am I alive? What the fuck? That's, yeah. Dude, it is embarrassing how bad I am at this stupid tape layer. What's harder, HRN or Blood 720? Beats me. It's hard to compare anything to HRN just because of how the difficulty scales in HRN, because like the first 3.5 hours are free and then the last 2.5 are like hell, whereas Blood 720 is like pretty consistent difficulty, so it's just hard to compare. Thanks, Vinny. Nice. Alright, whatever. Yeah. Damn. That was bad. I think currently my worst fail is technically 558 on Rat and Cat Theater. I would have died at the very end of Blood 720 if I didn't clutch. Or I didn't clutch, I just got lucky, I guess. HRN, I had a few deaths past 3. Like, I had almost 100 deaths past 3, and I still got lucky with HRN. I almost fluked Rat and Cat Theater from 409, and then I fucked up at the end, because I stalled way too early, because I thought Cat had a lenient kill timer, and he just doesn't. Yeah, this is tragic, by the way. I thought I was fine. I thought I could stall out. And then I just did that. Yeah, that was bad. And then Blood 720. 5 attempt rank at theater. Alright, I'll do that after this. Yeah, this is the ending of my Blood 720 win. Basically, I go to look, I flicked too early, but I had the door closed. And I just had to, my dumbass just had to sit there and pray that I had enough power. Yeah, I just flicked too early because I put the decimal points, I did decimals for like, I think the first 3 hours for the blank intervals, but not for the final ones because I didn't think it would matter. That doesn't count. Why did I lure to the broken camera? The fuck is wrong with me? Fine, that's 2. God, I'm rusty at this. Holy shit. That's 3. No! Fuck! Alright, that's 4. You had one job, Cat. Okay, this is the last attempt. That doesn't count. Let's do 5 HRN. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do 5 HRN right now. Oh my fucking god, dude. This is 12 a.m. I just don't remember how to play this night. I promise. I promise I was good at this game once. Oh, fuck. Alright. What? I thought I repaired that earlier. What the fuck? Oh, Blank's gonna clap my cheeks, dude. Yeah. That was bad. You know what? A mid 4? I'll take that. That's like right when things get bad anyways. I was fucked. That was a session. I don't know. I got a 2 and like 5 close 2s. I cannot focus, so... Fuck! Oh! Fuck, dude, that's like the exact same spot before. I have no idea how the day's gonna go. It's probably gonna be horrible because I'm tired, I'm rusty, and I can't play for very long. And yeah, I've also, as my Discord status suggests, I have been in the editing dungeon working on this behemoth. I'm feeling good about having a lower DPI now. Like, I finally feel used to it. It took a lot longer than I thought it would. Goal for today is to just like start feeling comfortable with this again since it's been a bit. You know what, Vinny? Yeah, God, I need to have my mouse up, like, higher up on my desk, because I have it, like, I don't know if you can see, but I have basically, like, the palm of my wrist, like, on the corner of my desk, which is why my wrist movement, like, sucks. I feel like I'm getting better at, like, reacting to which way he slow circles, which is good, because that was taking me a long time to get used to. Am I good at it? Absolutely not, but I'm miles better than I was like a few days ago. Because what I did at first was I'd always like do my circles to like pinpoint his location clockwise. Then I did it based off of which way he did his slow spin. Another one of my big issues with this knight is I have such a hard time locking in. I don't lock in until I'm like about to PB. It's really bad. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Dude, fucking bed phases. Alright, that's a PB. That's the farthest I've made it into 3. I was so scared I was gonna fuck up how you do the tape there. Yeah, that's a PB. Because, like, before my 3s would end, well, one of them ended, like, literally 5 seconds after the time switched, and the other one ended, like, probably 4 or 5 spins away from the bed sequence. Alright, good stuff. I did not think I was gonna PB today. I was like, maybe I'll get to 2. Ah, damn it. I'll take back-to-back 3s, though. Yeah, back-to-back 3s. Consistency, that's good. That's also what I needed because, you know, the beginning's pretty easy for me at this point, unless Vinny does, like, a absolutely fucked attack sequence. You know, literally just random skill boost. Like, I don't even know why I'm playing well. My hands are frigid. I'm, like, incredibly rusty. I'm not gonna complain, but yeah, that's it for today. Good session. That went a lot better than I thought. I thought it was gonna go horribly and I'd, like, struggle to get anywhere, but very happy I got a good PB and 3 AM immediately after, so yeah. Yeah, I've got no clue how today's gonna go. My wrist is... Oh man, my wrist is in a bad place. But I felt good warming up despite my wrist hurting a lot. Last time you said that I got 2 3 AMs. That is true, I did. What happened to your wrist? My guess is me playing 10 minutes of GD earlier today did me over for, like, the entire, I don't know. I think I just need to, like, because, like, I don't know. Well, I can't really seriously play GD anymore because of my arm. Yeah, no, my arm is, like, cooked from GD. My arm's been cooked with GD probably since, like, around the time I beat Blood 720, so, like, 4 months. First, you know, my elbow, like, this area, gets incredibly stiff and tight to the point where if I make a sudden movement, I'm probably tearing, like, I'm probably tearing something in my, or UCL, probably tearing something in my elbow. Now it's been more of my wrist lately. I think I just need to, like, stop playing GD, because, I don't know. I haven't, like, seriously played GD since January. I don't know, I still, like, play it casually every now and then, because I do like the game. I just can't really play it at a higher level anymore. Like, a carpal tunnel, I'm thinking either that. I have a lot of issues with my joints in general. Like, in my knees, when I bike, my knees get, like, really tight, so I'm thinking I might just have, like, arthritis everywhere. But I don't know. Saffron, thank you for the pounds. God, I gotta get used to that now that I can get euros and pounds. Opinions on British people. British people get too much hate. What are your opinions on this mode? I honestly, I don't really know. Because, like, it's super easy to get frustrated with this because, just because of Vinny's nature, it's so easy to get frustrated with this. Like, this guy has a 0.75 kill second timer. It's like he's got a personality and just tries and rolls you as hard as he can by doing just, like, the stupidest bullshit imaginable. But yeah, while it's, like, a very frustrating mode, when you're good at it, though, and you're, like, playing really well, it's very satisfying. Like, it's either a very satisfying max mode to be playing, or it's incredibly frustrating. Like, no in between, at least for me. Vinny, you... Oh my god. I did my circle, like, ever so slightly too tight. Dude, I made the exact same mistake. In, like, the exact same fucking... Oh my god. Every time I make it to 3 AM on PMAC, I never get to the bed sequence. Like, I literally... I'm 1 for 6 when I get to 3. And, like, when he gets to 3, you've done, like, probably 2.5 of his 4 different attack phases before he goes to the bed. And, like, nothing changes at 3 specifically. At least during those attacks. Like, during his bed sequences, yeah, obviously those are completely different. But, like, his, like, spinning attacks, it's themselves, like, they don't change. I went to circle and I just did a straight up line. Dude, that's 3 times! So like the same reason, I do a circle ever so slightly too small. That's a, ooh. Let's pretend that did not happen. I'll take that. That was a better session than I thought, so. You fucking idiot!
You good over there, big guy?
Nope. Back at this, unfortunately. I hadn't played this for quite some time, just because I needed a bit of like a mental reset. When I was de-rusting yesterday, one of my first attempts, I got to 3, and then I was doing great, and then he went to one side after his middle attack, and I guessed wrong. And then I decided, yep, I'm done. I'm feeling, I don't know, I really don't know how today's gonna go. I'm incredibly tired. I need to stop playing rat and kettle challenges, man. Oh my god. The less said about that, the better. Good god. Yeah, no, I need to stop playing rat and kettle challenges, because I'm used to at the start. I click down, I tape, I go under, I see nothing, I go to the side that has the thing, and what? Sure, man. 4! Finally! Oh, mind block broken. Sweet Jesus, that took way too long. That was like right as 4 hit. That was a bad death. I could care less. Oh, finally. Jeez. Yeah, no, that was an insane mind block. I could sense the fear. Oh yeah. I fucked up that tape so bad. Probably one of the most insane mind blocks I've ever had. Either that mind block or whatever my first, I think it was a 504, whatever my first 5 a.m. on HRN was. After finally breaking my 3 a.m. mind block, I decided to do one session off stream to see how I'd do when I could truly focus. This is how it went. Despite easily having my best session yet, I still came up short. While I probably should have beaten it, this still greatly increased my confidence. I was able to reinforce the fact that all of those early 3 a.m. deaths before were just a mind block and that I had the ability to get far in this night. 1 week then passed. I wasn't able to play PMAC because I was extremely busy with some IRL stuff, but I finally had a 4-day window where I had nothing going on and I could solely focus on this. If I could just regain a little bit of the skill I had previously, I'd be able to do it. I'd finally be done with this hell. So I started one more session.
Freddy in the doorway is pretty hard and wastes a lot of time, so you really can't use that here. Instead, you could use the camera to spot him in the hallway, or use prediction explained earlier in the video, or a mixture of both. 4. Bonnet is also hard to spot with the flashlight challenge, so I recommend keeping your mouse low to be able to spot her as soon as possible. Using the keypad for a little bit could also
No! It still wasn't good enough. Before that 5 a.m. death, I had practiced 5 a.m. so much that I knew if I could get through the bed phases and play the tape correctly, I wouldn't have died. I was so confident in my aim that I knew that would have been it. I had gone into PMAC expecting it to take maybe around 10 hours, but by this point I was well over my hardest Rainy Nightmare and Blood 720 playtime, totaling at least 25 hours. Only a few frames stood between me beating this stupid night and being stuck for who knows how long. This was extremely demoralizing and I was about to give up. But alright, short explanation of what's going on because I gotta lock the fuck in and beat this. You're probably wondering why the title says 5 a.m. X5 when I think last stream my PB was 4 a.m. Now my PB is a lot different. It's not like I have played this much off stream. I have been so busy. I just haven't been able to do like anything when it comes to playing and making videos and all that crap. But I've put in 2 sessions, and I think before those 2 sessions I was at like, I don't know, let's see, I was probably at like 3 a.m. X9, 4 a.m. X1. Now 3 a.m. X14, 4 a.m. X4, 5 a.m. X5. So yeah, that's what I've done in the 2 sessions I have done of this outside of the last stream. So I'm gonna lock in. Just in this session alone, I've gotten 3 a.m. 3 times, 4 a.m. once, and 5 a.m. 3 times. Try and force yourself to lock in. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I don't lock in though, I can make it past like 12 and usually 1, but like once 2 hits, like I have a hard time getting locked in mid-attempt. So like once 2 hits, like just pure muscle memory is enough to get me through like 12 and 1. But once 2 hits, that's when I have to like go. Excuse me, I have to go like pure focus. I knew it. I fucking knew today was gonna be the day. Once I got that second 5 a.m., I knew I couldn't stop. Yes! I am free from ass mode. Finally. Dude, that 5 a.m. was so fucked. You wanna know how many times he went to the left? One time. He went left one time, and he did so many, like, 500-degree spins. Oh my god. And then once he got to the left, I was like, this is fucking it. And then I almost messed up, like, 3 times. Oh my god. Yeah, thank you everyone who's here. This is the first time I've done an actual hard max mode on stream. Oh my god. I have a lot of thoughts on this max mode, which is why I'm doing a voiceover rather than saying stuff off the top of my head. First of all, I do personally think that this is harder than Blood 720 and HRN. For most people, it's definitely easier, but PMAC just really doesn't fit my playstyle. FNAF 3 in general is just way different from any FNAF game or fan game I've ever played before, so I really struggled with everything about it. The hardest part was just being able to focus for such a long period of time, because with most max modes, you can zone out for a bit and your autopilot will carry you through a good chunk of the night. PMAC requires an extreme amount of focus throughout the night, which I had a hard time dealing with, especially when I was tired or wasn't feeling 100%. Second, the reason this took so long was just because of how busy I got towards the end of my attempts. To be 100% honest, I'm entering a very busy and stressful part of my life. I have to work more than 35 hours a week, I have to get my driver's license within the next month, I have to get ready for college, and I want to spend time with all my friends before they leave for college. All of that on top of doing an extremely difficult max mode, and the fact that making videos like this takes a lot of my already very limited free time just made this experience so much longer and more stressful than it should have been. Finally, the max mode itself. While I got more frustrated with PMAC than any other max mode, it was still enjoyable at times. The fact that it gets much harder as the night goes on is definitely annoying, but compared to hardest running nightmares scaling, it's definitely a lot better. With HRN, you can straight up get cases that are impossible late in the night, but with PMAC, while everything gets more difficult, it's always 100% winnable with enough skill. The frustrating part was just how strict Vinnie's kill timer is. Only having 3/4 of a second to react to everything is just so brutal, and it really messes with your nerves more than anything. I've never had much of an issue with nerves when it comes to max modes, but for some reason PMAC made me so incredibly nervous, which was super weird when I started playing it. Eventually, when I was able to consistently get to around 3 a.m, my nerves weren't as bad, but PMAC always keeps you tense throughout the night. PMAC is also super deceptive from an outsider's perspective because of how simple it is. On paper, PMAC is an incredibly simple night where you just have to play decently for 8 minutes, but then when you actually go and play it, it is so much harder than it looks. I will say though, despite being incredibly frustrating, PMAC is pretty fun and satisfying if you're playing very well, which is why I enjoyed it more than HRN. Overall, I'd give it around a 45 out of 100 when it comes to enjoyment. It's just such a brutal mental test, and on top of being incredibly deceiving, it can make for a really frustrating experience. I originally started PMAC to improve my aim for harder max modes in the future, and I expected it to maybe take around 10 hours, but yeah, looks can be deceiving, and while I don't know my actual playtime since I couldn't use my timer for this, I know it was anywhere from 25 to like 40 hours. With that being said, I'm incredibly happy to be done with this. Thank you to everyone who tuned into any stream, and a huge thank you to everyone who gave me tips to help make PMAC a lot easier. Next up, I think I'm going to try Finati but Dumb and do Nightmare at Disney before finally going and finishing True Nightmare No Postmortem, so be on the lookout for those streams soon. Again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later.